My name is Marilyn Marler, and I'm the University of Montana Natural Areas Specialist.
All right, I understand you've got a study going on, so tell us what you're looking for.
This is a new management plan. It's not in the study stage, so we have over 700 acres that is part of the University of Montana campus that needs to be taken care of, and so this management plan is out for public comment now, and it addresses things like ongoing noxious weed management, trail management, and forest stewardship. And it includes land on Mount Sentinel that's owned by the university and land out at Fort Missoula that's undeveloped land and needs to be taken care of.
Now, Marilyn, tell me some of the steps that were taken to get this study together, the plan together.
The plan, I've been working for 15 years as the Natural Areas Manager for the university, but there's never been a comprehensive management plan for these properties. You know, we've had vegetation management plans that address weed management and native plant restoration, but there's never been one explicitly outlining goals for forest stewardship and trails. And those are both big components at both properties. So in my 15 years of working on this, I've taken my experience with these lands and talking about best practice with other land managers in the area and compiled this management plan, and it addresses things like thinning the forests to prevent disease and pests and fire risk, and it identifies parts of the trail system on Mount Sentinel that need serious rehabilitation or even redirection in some places. So it's a combination of combining best practices for our region with experience on the land. And I'm really hoping to get feedback from user groups and the public because, thousands of people use these areas and their input's important.
Yeah, especially those of us who are not in great shape trying to get those switchbacks on the M Trail. Now, because it's such an iconic trail, will that see any significant change, or are you just going to try to improve it, or how is that going to work?
So here's the thing with the M Trail. Even though it's just a small portion of the university trails on Mount Sentinel, it definitely gets the most visibility and the most traffic. And when it was built 100 years ago, it was put in at a pretty steep angle. And we're not going to totally redo the trail or anything drastic like that, but there does need to be ongoing maintenance. And people who hike the trail at all, a few times a year even, will notice that we've put stair structures at some of the switchbacks to, try to counteract the erosion that's been happening there. At a lot of those corners, there's been mass wasting of soil. You can just see that it's just been washing down the hill. So we have to have work days and get materials and hike soil up the mountain to get it fixed, and that's going to need to be ongoing. We've got about half of the switchbacks repaired, and we need to do the other half, and we have an ongoing process of covering up the trails that are what we call user trails, where people just think, well, I think I'll go straight down, people cutting the switchbacks and stuff, and that's really damaging for the mountain. So we put brush on those, and sometimes we put signs reminding people to stay on the trail. But it's an ongoing process, and UM has not had a dedicated budget for any of the trails on Mount Sentinel, so most of the stewardship hard work on the M Trail has come from community members. And we appreciate that.
Now, how can the public respond?
They can read the management plan. It's available on the UM Natural Areas website, and that link went out with the press release. So I hope you can share that. Even if somebody Googles UM Natural Areas Management Plan, it should come up. And read the plan, and they can send email to me at marilyn.marler@umontana.edu, and we're accepting public comment for until at least April 1st. And that's the best way because then the comments are in writing and I can compile them all and respond to them.
Now, Marilyn, one more quick question. What does this have to do with the Parks and Trails bond that was passed recently?
In one sense, it's unrelated because the Parks and Trails bond is for county and city-owned projects, and this management plan addresses areas that are owned and managed by the University of Montana. So there's different management agencies, and that Parks and Trails bond that passed at the county level doesn't really do much on Mount Sentinel. The city parks also owns land on Mount Sentinel. But I think that a big reason why I was motivated to do this management plan that addresses land at Fort Missoula is because that county bond is specifically to build a regional park at Fort Missoula. That's going to increase recreational use and general traffic at Fort Missoula. So I want to see the University of Montana step it up with wayfinding, traffic management, interpretation, and just getting ready for more visitors.